Boy, 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 boy. When I say the plot thickens, oh, I don't know y'all gonna be ready for this. And I know those religious people, a lot the different religious groups are going to despise this video. They're gonna hate it because it's gonna go against everything they've been teaching people. But let's dive right into it. So I don't know if y'all knew this, but the so-called God or the creator of this world, this earth, this prison, aka the devil, was actually not the beginning and the end, but was actually created by a celestial being called Sophia. Yes, that's right. God himself, the creator, has a mother, Sophia Pettis. She created him and realized that God, our creator, this evil entity, was an abomination. And because of that abomination, she cast God down to the abyss, surrounded by void and darkness, aka let there be light. Y'all remember that saying in the Bible, let there be light? Because when you think about it, when he said let there be light, what was there before the light? Darkness. He was surrounded by darkness. She sent him away. Again, because he was an abomination. And when God, the creator of this realm and this world, and the creator of Adam and Eve, when he opened his eyes and realized or believed that he was by himself, because when he looked around, it was nothing but darkness. It was just him. He assumed that he was the beginning and the end. Think about it. I am that I am, or I am God. There is no other like me. He believed that because he didn't see any other entity. He did not know other beings and celestial beings existed. And it states in the banned book of Adam that he was naive and he became very arrogant when he said those words. And when he said those words, it was blasphemous. How can God ever be blasphemous? This is deep. And because he did not want to be alone, he created what y'all call earth, a prison. Why you think he said earth is his footstool? Do the research on what footstool is. He created a prison and then created us, human beings, to be his slaves. And trust me, this is just the beginning. Wow, earth is really hell. And now it's starting to make a lot of sense of why we talk about a divine feminine energy, because based on the book of Adam, it talks about this divine feminine energy. So sure enough that we have to look at things from the perspective of yin and yang, and we have to look at it from a perspective of positive and negative. Now in the banned book of Adam, it talks about us having a spirit and a soul, yin yang, or positive negative. Because when humans only had a soul that God put inside of Adam, Adam did not rise up. That did not create a living being. But when the divine feminine energy, a pure spirit feminine energy hovered over the body of Adam and then manifested itself inside of Adam, then Adam rose. And when he woke up, he said, you are the divine one, and you shall be called the true mother. It gets deep, man. It gets really, really deep, y'all.
About you and they told me things, but my mind didn't change, and I still feel the same. What's a life with no fun? Please don't be so ashamed.
It is said I have heard, this is not the first time I've heard this, that, that video that you've seen earlier speaking about Sophia being God's mother, right? And so if these beings themselves have been said to be beings that exist, who created them? And who created them? And who created them? And who created them? If there are these things that we are knowing, there has to be other things that we don't know. If God was sent into darkness and created all of this, we are God's child, right? But God, if God was sent to, if God was considered an abomination, and our whole entire existence is to experience ourselves, to understand who we are, and we are God, we are understanding who God is within our experience. So with that being said, right, we, because just imagine for a second, this is what I think about. Imagine for a second being alone, sent into a, a dark nothing and creating something. We are its creation, and we are meant to experience ourselves, which means that we are experiencing God. To experience something being like thrown into a dark abyss, when you awaken spiritually, right, you realize that you are a soul, a conscious soul that's experiencing this life. And so when I was saying earlier that I was awakening and having this feeling of being lonely, being alone, you may hear a lot of spiritual coaches or teachers say that they that this journey is a lonely journey. Think about the feeling that God experienced being sent into this eternal darkness, and just basically it was jail for God. So a lot of people think of that, and per what that guy was saying, that earth could possibly be hell. But how I think of hell, hell is an energy. And there's another video on this channel speaking about you are the devil. Because the idea of you is that you are everything. So the mindset of a person is going to hell, what if we're already in hell? What if we don't allow ourselves to actually experience life because we're living in fear that this could happen or this could happen? But what is right now? What is actually right now? Right? Like, think of this. I saw that there was this man that smoked cigarettes all his life, well, for most of his life, and lived to be over 100 years old. So that's why I often ask, what are people being vegan for? What is their purpose for being vegan? But it's also, there has to be discernment whether when you're being vegan, is it working? Are you doing, is it for your health? Because people like what's her name, Tabitha Brown, when she went vegan to keep her from having she was having back pains, I think is what she said, and that she made a pact with God to to relieve that pain, and she would be in service of God. And I want to say this because it's coming up, it's coming forward. When a lot of people, some people that make music, they often hide their what they're wanting to say about God in their music. But they all have this idea or knowing that we're all one huge collective, one huge experience that we're having. It is all connected in some way. So when they're actually speaking about something else, it's actually like when they say you, this is what I was saying about. You are everything. Everything is you. Your whole experience is you. There's an experience outside of just what we think. Because the no mind concept is just that there is no thought. There's just existence. I am, therefore I am. Because if God was just in darkness and created light, he knew he existed because he knew. And the same idea of a twin flame. you know that you're on the journey because you are experiencing it. Other people don't have to know whether you are a twin flame or not, but some people use these things to create monetary gains and things like that. But we have created, if God was, if God was sent into a abyss and if Earth is hell, then we have somewhat as humans created our own hell, because this is what I can say about jail. If you send people to jail and those people within jail aren't really learning from they're not really learning how to become better people, because sometimes when people get out of jail, they either create the same experiences to go back to jail so that they, can have, I'm not saying, not me, not going back to jail, hell no. At least I hope that that's never in the cards for myself ever. But some people, when they go back to jail, they go back so that they can have a life. Because when they get out, sometimes people realize that it's difficult to live in an experience where money is a thing now, when we have access to things like water. We have access to things like food that grows naturally out of the ground. But everything is connected in some way, because if you think about it, some animals hunt other animals, some insects hunt other insects. Everything that we need is already pretty much created, but we created a much more sustainable life, I guess you can say. If that is making sense. It should be. I also meant to add this in part of the video. I hope it's not muffled. Hold on. It's not. But what I was going to say is that what I have also realized about this experience is that, especially being a medium, and when I was speaking about karma and how enlightened beings can collect karma faster than other beings, or we become aware of it faster than other beings. And especially when you have been gifted by spirit to be able to feel things in your body, or to have clairvoyance and clairsent and all of these clairs and these abilities that have been gifted by spirit. When you say things, sometimes you can manifest certain experiences in your experience unwantingly. And I saw clairvoyantly, I heard warning. So that may be a warning for the viewer. But when I was saying that, right, what I'm saying is that, for example, when I spoke in the past about, oh, I would love, or if you would tell a person, I would love to take that pain away from you that you're feeling, and then later, if you actually experience what they're experiencing, you realize that you didn't actually want to manifest that. And so then, you have these affirmations that you say, God, return to sender that feeling that I unconsciously manifested, and forgive me for, for not being aware at that time. I forgive myself for not knowing these things at that time. And so, yeah, it's a big part of the experience, but you have to realize that not only how you treat people is a thing, but what you can manifest for yourself unwantingly is a thing. And also, just being aware of who you allow around you, because certain people, if they have intentions that don't align with your intentions, as a spiritual enlightened being, it can affect your experience. And that's what I was wanting to say. But to sort of speak about this life, do we even know there's a balance of light and dark, right? There's duality. What if everything that we know about life and I've also heard that this experience that we're having is actually a copy of the divine realm outside of this realm that we're living in. So outside of hell, this is actually a copy of what is happening in the other realms, the other divine realms. And so, you know, it was said in another video that I saw that Sophia had God. She had God. God was her child or creation, right? Because if God was her creation, and then within God being created, she wasn't granted the permission to create God by the people that were over her, that were over Sophia. So if it's people that are over Sophia, that means that there are people or there are beings that are powerful, more powerful than her, I guess you can say. So that's just saying a lot within itself. But if that is true, and it was said that when God was created, God was this chaotic energy, which explains the energy of how they say the yin energy or the mothering energy, the divine feminine energy or night can be seen as chaotic. They were saying that God was a chaotic energy, and she had to basically end him. She had to end this creation. She had to lock God up, which was God being sent to this, what they call some people call it abyss or darkness, as you've seen in the video, what the guy was explaining. If God was sent to this darkness and created us so that it could experience itself, this is the whole experience, us experiencing ourselves. And if we are experiencing God, we're kind of sort of relieving God's pain for experiencing being sent to jail. Do you understand what I'm saying? Basically, not to say it like we're God's play toys, because I don't want to say God he, because God could be a she. Divine feminine energy is a chaotic energy, but within us is beings of light, and this being of light is God, which would also explain that if God was sent to be in darkness and he became full of light and then created us, or God was the light that was sent into darkness. And so just think about for a second being in a completely dark room and just being the light in the room and having to create. That's why men are seen to, when I say men have a womb, we have a womb to create. The same way God had to create something for himself. And we are in some ways God's entertainment, but we're also here so that God can experience it itself, because outside of us as beings is nothing for God to experience if God is in darkness. And that should make sense. And I think about how if there's this empathy that arises, because to imagine a being of light experiencing that and then creating us, not only powerful, that's powerful in the sense of being able to create such something so unique, but at the same time there's so much that I could say. There's a song called Copycat by I think Melanie is her name or something like that. But anyway, just to think of the word copy, like if this universe and experience, because the universe is the universe within the creation that God created, or is universe also including Sophia? You get what I'm saying? Like, does universe include? And I heard that this came from the Anunnaki, or the Gnostic scriptures is what I heard when I first heard about this. It's a guy speaking about the Gnostic scriptures. And if we receive these experiences through dreams and things like that, it's only to say how much more there is to the experience of whatever this is. There's something outside, there's something bigger. When I hear that song by Beyonce, we're part of something much bigger. We're part of something much bigger. Bigger than you, bigger than me. We're a part of something more grand than just this experience. But Spirit is telling me to hang this video up. I'm pretty sure that someone learned something from this video, and I hope that you guys don't judge me so much with what I'm eating. But just to say for you guys that have stayed this long and watched the entire video, I've realized that life is to be enjoyed. We're not only here to experience each other, God created. When we become in alignment with it, we are love. We are unconditional love. And we have to awaken to the energy that we are. So I hope that you receive something from this. I enjoyed speaking about this because it's something that I've wanted to speak about. And I hope that, the right people not only attract this video, but I also, if there is more information, I've been sort of thinking about looking into the Gnostic scriptures, or the things like about Sophia. But yeah, it's quite it's something to know that other people understand some of the things, or have become aware of some of the things that I've become aware of or heard of. And I think that is amazing. Yeah. And if we are here in honoring of spirit, source conscious, to be empathetic to others is also to be empathetic to yourself. To forgive others is also to forgive yourself. To love others is to also love yourself. And to love yourself and honor yourself and those things like that is also to do it for the rest of the collective. So I hope that this video, again, was entertaining. I definitely entertained it. And if you like this type of information, we can get in some deeper conversations. That rhymed a little bit. But anyway, I love you. Toodaloo.
I die real, cause that truth hurts and those lies heal. And you can't sleep thinking that he lies still, so you cry still. Tears all in a pillowcase. Big girls all get a little taste out, pushing me away so I give her space out. Dealing with a heart that I didn't break. I'll be there for you, I would care for you. I keep thinking you just don't know. Trying to run from that, say you're done with that. On your face, girl, it just don't show. When you're ready, just say